coming tonight. Obviously, we're all here for the same reason, to try to end the stigma around mental health and addiction. My friend Michael, who does a lot of tremendous work in Union County and especially in Union Township, offered to come tonight to speak to us. He's been working with community groups, doing a lot of stuff over the years, and he's gonna shed some light on some programming he has ideas for, and just advising us on how to take this initiative and move it forward so it doesn't stagnate. In some other communities, they've had this initiative prior to us, but it's already kind of fizzled out, and I don't want that to happen here. And I don't think it will happen here, because I don't think I would allow it, and I don't think most of the people involved here would allow it. But when he offered to come speak, I took him right up on that offer, so I appreciate him being here tonight. So, Officer Boll.
Thank you. I'm retired now.
Retired, Officer Boll.
I've been working with communities for almost my entire life. When I became a police officer, the reason why I wanted to get back to my community, because I was in the Marine Corps after high school, and I went to the Gulf War. And when I came home, the Township of Union, the residents were all waiting for me to come home and greeted me and took care of my family while I was gone. So I really feel obligated to give back to the community that took care of my family. So that's why I became a police officer for one of the most parts, and wanted to do everything I could to help the town and help my family. And it just got bigger and bigger throughout the years. One thing I learned is that when you work with a school board or government, and it's nothing against either of them, there's a lot of red tape. It's just, everybody means well. They do. No one wants to ever not help a special needs group or people who are being bullied or veterans. It's just that they don't know how to. And when you get government involved, or people who are elected in other capacities like school boards, you seem to have these big problems. People are calling lawyers all the time, waiting, constantly waiting for answers. And sometimes when they wait so long, they forget. And that's why you get these organizations or groups like this fail, because people get frustrated. So one thing that I learned, and it's not all about me, I learned the first thing is lose your ego. Lose the ego. You want people to work together and save lives and help lives, lose your ego. This day and age, people can all pose together in pictures. You don't have to have your tag on every single thing that you do. I run an organization, but I have so many volunteers that we all work together, and if you see what we do, it's a team. I just said it before. We are probably one of the most diverse groups out there in the state of New Jersey. None of us get paid for what we do, and we save lives every day. We make huge significant differences in people's lives because we work together, we network. We all know the common goal is to save a life and help a life and change a life. So, number one is, I keep saying it 1,000 times, lose the egos, because that's where we all run into problems. When you approach people that are elected, obviously when you have elected officials in the room that are a part of this, that is a boost. That's gonna really help. Springfield's a really nice town, and I know some of the things that have been going on with the looping and some of the problems that you've had with some politics and stuff like that, but the bottom line is there's good people that live in your community. You know, you might not agree on political agendas or different parties, but when it comes down to our children, and I say this is another thing that I've got to say, is that the number one resource, the most important thing in any town is your children. And when people don't remember that or don't say that, it kind of takes things away from it. I mean, when your children are not being the number one resource, like as a police officer, I say, hey, people ask about having police officers in school. People don't love the police, some of them, you know, as a majority they do, but I always say, why would you not want a police officer in your school? But, that being said, you need the right police officer in your school, and that's where people lose touch of all these arguments, is where one side will say one thing, one side will say the other, there's no middle ground. And people just argue. And one thing I learned, I was lucky enough, I got to speak at the State House. I thought I was Oliver North, gonna wear my uniform and change the world, you know, and one thing I learned is that, well, it didn't change the world, it was more just listening to me speak and walking away and saying that didn't accomplish anything. And I didn't stop there, I continued fighting every day. But I work with the best people in the state. I have found the best people in the state to work with that all believe in the common goal. And that's why, as a group this size, this is a lot of, I don't know if you guys understand this. You have a large group here. Volunteers have gone down. I've done my homework on this subject for years. Volunteer rates have gone down dramatically. The Knights of Columbus, the Elks, the American Legion, the VFW, lose members every day. Sorry?
Historical societies.
You lose numbers every day. You're not, you're lucky to even have these organizations stay afloat. People are not coming or giving back to their towns anymore, for whatever reasons. And this is a problem that's not being addressed properly as well. So it's good to have, it's not good, it's fantastic to have a group this size working together on a common goal, helping our children and our people and residents live in a society where they can be different without being depicted on for any other reasons. This is not a utopia. I mean, things do happen. You know, one thing I've learned is being in the military, you say horrible things to each other. Some people don't understand it, and I tell people this. It's a fine line on some of the things that are said, but these are the people that are going to save your life and love you. So it's kind of like a family member saying horrible things to you, but there's a way to express yourself by telling them, hey, knock it off. And it's mostly through jest. The coming home or dealing in the environment that we live in, it wouldn't fly. But you also remember, people do speak like this, and not every one of them is a racist or something horrible. They don't know what they're doing is wrong in some cases. So there is a way that we have to separate the ideas of, hey, who's being a racist or a horrible person, who's not. Maybe they don't need to. And education is probably the best way to do it. But going back to what I said, bringing both sides in on that conversation. You can't be one-sided in a group like this. It won't work. It just won't work. You have to have people on both sides speaking and communicating their feelings and saying, hey, look, we don't want to be a cupcake society, but we don't want our kids being spoken to in a horrible manner. You know, we have to meet somewhere in common ground here and not allow this to happen. You know, I have a special needs daughter, and I feel that, how can I bring her, because people will look at, you know, my family differently. They stare at her, they say all these things. So if I took my anger and got mad every time someone stared at my daughter, I'd have problems, I'd be in jail. So what we do is we bring our daughter over to people who are staring or really, you know, not understanding, and say, hi, this is Vicky. You put Vicky right in their face and say, this is my daughter. So you're trying to say hello, right? That's what you're trying to do. So you try to like show them, hey, this is a person, but also be kind. Just be kind. And we feel that there's ways of doing it and without making yourself sound like you have an agenda, like where we're just going to throw this in your face. You know you're not. You're here to protect your children, make them happy, and also residents, too. This is for adults as well. Listen, social media completely has given people the right to say horrible things to one another and not anyone stop it. Because it's legal to a point, some of them. Majority of it, like 98% of it. People come to the police department all the time and say, look, this person wrote about me. And you're like, well, I mean, I want to laugh, but, you know, you can't, but it's bad, you know, you're like, how can someone write something like, this is pretty awful, like, you know, and you sit there and you go, I'm sorry, you know, it's what people do nowadays. You're behind a computer, no one's telling you to stop, there's no filter, so you're just going to write whatever you feel. You know, I learned something, someone said, you don't have to respond every time someone writes something you don't like, but yet people feel obligated to do that, and it keeps going. You could write, in Springfield today, I saw a sign that was crooked. Right? You can write something as innocent or as easy as that. Who do I contact? And somehow it's going to go about Trump or the current administration, you know, or it's going to go against the people that are elected in the town. And they might not have anything to do with the stupid sign. You know, but that's the thing, is that people escalate things because they feel they need to write back something, and they're not educated enough to actually learn how to speak. You know, I always tell people, my daughter got a bullying incident against her. I don't know if you guys know about the cheering situation I live in East Hanover. Long story short is one of the girls complained and they put everybody on the cheer team.
Oh, yeah.
They basically said, okay, everyone's a cheerleader now, congratulations. And my daughter's the captain of the team, because I trained her, and she worked really hard. You know, she works hard every day, 4 hours a day she was training. And to see that just getting thrown away was pretty heartbreaking for a child. And my daughter got in trouble in school. We went to the school, we have a conference. The teacher said, your daughter, we have one problem with your daughter. She's late to class every day. I said, okay, well, what's the problem? She goes, she has to hug everybody because that's how she has to hug everybody in the hallways before she gets to class. I said, you know something, I'm okay with that. If that's my daughter's problem, that's what the Bolls do. So when my daughter got a bullying incident against her, I knew like there's got to be something, you know, more to it. And she didn't do anything wrong. The moral of the story, she did nothing wrong. But it hurt because she was in the limelight because of this cheering thing, and now she was picked as being a bully. So like I said, you have to differentiate, I can't say that word today, I'm sorry, between being a bully and not being a bully, and what is the proper protocol. Because being a police officer, you could arrest somebody and ask the prosecutor's office for advice, and you'll get 5 different answers. You can get 5 different answers from school teachers, 5 different answers from administrators, 5 different answers from politicians, and anybody in this world. It's just the way we are. Not everybody knows everything. So one thing I would think that this group needs to really learn is how to open up and not be just one-sided, because I feel that this whole agenda is a one-sided agenda to a point. I'm not against it. Listen, I'm the first one to tell you it's needed. Stigma-free has to be done. It's getting out of hand. I mean, people are saying horrible things to one another, and they're doing horrible things to one another. But you still have to remember that there is a middle ground, and really concentrate on the middle ground, making it fair for everyone. I think you'll be really successful. You know, I think it's a great thing, and a lot of towns start these projects. They don't have this kind of showing. They want to do it just to say, hey, we're stigma town. What does that mean? Stigma-free?
We wanna make sure it's not.
That's fantastic. But what are you doing about it? You know, you have to answer this town needs to have a follow-up to it. And not that I'm rambling, I'm sorry if I'm rambling on. Am I rambling on? That sounds pretty good. I'm just joking. One thing we do for our charity, which I have to wake up every morning and say that my charity and our group is the best in the world. It's the most important one. And I know it's not, but I have to think it is. It's the most important thing in the world, and I have to wake up every morning saying, how do I show the world that we're the most important? And yes?
I didn't mean to interrupt you just then, but can you, forgive me, but can you just tell us what your charity is? And
I'm
what
sorry.
it does and what group
That would help, right?
you work with?
So, believe it or not, before I put some more muscle, I go up and down like a little seesaw here. I started a charity with a couple other guys called Operation Rebound. It's for disabled vets and first responders. And one thing that we do that's different than all the other charities is that we're able to take disabled veterans and first responders off the couches, you know, out of their depression, and make them empower them instantly, because we contact people in crisis. That's the difference. And this is one thing that I think you guys could do as well as a group. You want to find people in crisis and contact them first. Because when you call someone that's in crisis and offering help, you're going to build a trust a lot faster than them calling you. And when we talked about earlier, when you guys weren't here, when someone's in crisis, they're not going to just get up on the phone and call you. And if they do call you and you don't answer that phone, it's over. It's a one-shot deal. So one thing we learned is we are relentlessly following up with our people. We've given jobs, housing, cars, resumes, anything that you could think of to help someone live a better way of life, we have done it, and for their families as well. And I have all the proof in the world to show you what we've done.
How do you find somebody in crisis?
Chris can call me up and say, hey, I have a friend of mine that's not doing well. Okay. We have about 20 people revolving every day in our group.
It's like a buddy system.
Yeah, we go through the American Legion.
Yes.
I'm backed by the American Legion. I keep saying I'm sorry, I don't mean to say that. The American Legion, the VFW, the PBA, the FMBA. Those are the 5 biggest organizations for police and fire and military organizations. Not only that, we have Unico, Knights of Columbus, their leadership all backs us. So when their membership has a veteran who needs help, we're able to do that. But we don't just stop it there. We have people who are non-veterans part of our system, because we don't turn anyone down that needs help. We just know how to use that person in a different way. Like, we have a person that has cerebral palsy. He doesn't have too many friends. Michael's the nicest boy you'll ever meet. He doesn't have a lot of friends. People are not walking up to him and going out with him every day. Michael calls me every day, and I better answer the phone when Michael calls, because Michael won't stop calling me. You know, Michael needs to speak to me, and that's just the way it is. I know to answer the phone when Michael calls. I don't give a if I'm the worst day of my life, I will speak to Michael.
I was at a program a couple of weeks ago by the county, of county services available for the aging. And they're going to do that program here in a couple of weeks for the seniors. And I'm encouraging caretakers and everybody else to come. And one part of that was, there's a program that will call seniors that are housebound once a week, or there'll be friendly visitors. They'll actually come.
Friendly visitors is definitely more important than a phone call.
But
if you can do
I
it.
understand that, but their caveat was you cannot impose this on people, they have to ask.
Why not?
To do it. I don't, that's why I'm asking you, because they say.
Do what you
person's
want,
permission.
do what you want. Call that person up and ask that person if you want there, because that's the red tape we're talking about.
Okay.
And I can't stand it. You know, the suicide hotlines, I understand what they do, it's a fantastic, we need them, we definitely need them. But what's their follow-up? Who takes this person that's in crisis and does anything with them? We do. We have mentors, we go to these people's homes, we take them out on a regular basis, we build them back up. And I only ask them to do one thing. I say, listen, when this is all said and done, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to pay it forward. So I'm not asking you for anything else, I just want you to get healthy, I want you to be happy, live a great life, and when you can, you start coming to more events in another capacity,
The creative purpose.
you know?
Yeah, I want to back up what you're saying about that. I had a friend who called me, and she had suicidal ideation, and when I hear this, she's a nurse, so she actually used those phrases, right? And she had the means to do it. And I said, well, I know of a place, I don't know if they're open, but I'm gonna call them. And I talked to her for a while, try to get her, out of her mood. But I called them, and they said, well, we're not supposed to reach out to people, because that's like ambulance chasing. But I said, this is very serious, I don't know what she'll do, she's a nurse, she has the means, and, she's, down, and she said, well, I'll talk to my supervisor. She talked to her supervisor, and her supervisor said, it's a judgment call. And she called, the woman at the office called my friend, and gave her the information she needed. Now, my friend has not followed up on it, but I keep talking to her about, don't you want to see your grandchildren grow up, and don't you want this? And she doesn't want her brother to find her, because he lives next door, and he'll find her, But that person was told by her supervisor, it's a judgment call, we don't usually do this, but if you feel that it's necessary, you go ahead and call the woman, and she did.
But you see how we've gotten lost on helping one another, where we gotta ask permission to help someone? That's pretty shitty, I'm sorry to curse, but that's just a pretty shitty thing, that we have to really get someone's permission to help someone, to save someone's life. How is this happening? This is why I tell the VA, I'm not against the VA, I don't wanna badmouth the VA, but I tell them in government, I shouldn't have a charity. We shouldn't have this charity. Why do we have it? Because you, as a whole, are failing our people. 22 veterans take their lives every day. That number's not changing. We saved about a dozen of them last year, because we're out there relentlessly following up with our people. Every week or so, we are calling them, we're seeing them, we're taking them places. It doesn't cost $1 million to have someone come to a hiking event or doing something together as a family unit. We make a family unit out of because when you get deployed, you're usually not coming home to the people you were your friends with. People in the military, I don't want to say everything's about the military, just saying this is for our organization, it applies for, is that when you get deployed, you're with your brothers and sisters. When you come home, you don't have them. Police officers, fire departments, they kind of have that unit, but the military doesn't. So that's where they get lost more and need that help. So
I think, to a degree, and again, not to interrupt you, but families that have family members dealing with mental illness are the same way. Like, we don't have, I'm dealing with a family member right now who's currently in the hospital, and I was just there today for a meeting, and she wasn't doing well. And when you walk out, it's like the worst feeling, because it's like, you have nobody, unless somebody's been through it, it's hard to talk to people and explain what's going on and how helpless you feel, and just, if any family member's sick with any type of illness, obviously there's a bad feeling, but when it's somebody's brain telling them things that aren't necessarily happening, and they feel it, and you can't really talk to them, and so I think there's a lot of feeling of that in family members when somebody's in crisis.
Oh, absolutely, it's an abandonment feeling, it's a hard thing when you have mental illness. And one thing we said earlier is that one thing about the team that we have, when we do events together, it's very diverse. We have a very diverse group.
It doesn't discriminate, mental illness doesn't discriminate.
And we love the fact that when we have someone that needs help, the others help that person. Someone who has a mental illness or a PTSD, when they're helping someone else, it's helping them. It's not a big secret. But when you exploit, when you put this out there, that we're doing a hike or we're doing this and we need people to help one another, and you see people there who are really in a bad place helping someone else, Michael, like I said before, Michael is a sweet kid, everyone loves him, and when they help the people that have PTSD or in a bad spot, I actually love when they help Michael get into his chair and transition to a racing bicycle, or spend time, tell a joke with Michael. Michael is thriving for friendship, and I hate to say, say his name, but this is the way it is, He's a loving kid, and now he has people that he meets throughout the team that love him, and he gets to meet them every time, so Michael wants to come to every event that we have. And you know what? That's saving Michael as well.
So now that we kind of know your background, I know you and I talked a little bit about, so how can we maybe help do that with you?
We're looking to start, just, believe it or not, we have to deal with legal matters as well, but we came up with an idea where we have to call it something a little bit different, like a self-help group, but we're looking to do that. We're gonna be doing it in Springfield as well. Once a month, we'll have veterans, and we are gonna try to open it up to others. I just wanna try it first, I don't wanna make any promises.
Now, you're based in Union? Is that, or?
We're a state
A
organization.
state organization, okay.
We are really loved in Union County. We got a lot of great contacts in Union County. So I don't want to leave Union County. I'd like staying where we're at, because this is where a lot of our resources are. Being a police officer for so many years and working with community, some people grew up in Union, that might help me out in the future and stuff like that, But all kidding aside, it's really such a great county to be a part of, where I know that's just a couple phone calls away to get anything that I need. And I'm a pit bull, I don't stop. If you tell me no, I'll call your whole family up. And that's the difference. I'm a horrible person if you say no to me, because I don't get paid for what I do. I do this for free. So don't waste my time. Don't tell me you're gonna do something, because that'd be the biggest mistake you'll make. And that's how you gotta act when you do a charity or a group like this. You have a goal to save lives. That's the most important goal you have. Don't let anyone tell you, yeah, and not follow up. And that's what I tell you, be that jerk. You're not getting paid for being here tonight. You could be home with your families right now. You chose to come here for a common goal to help people and their families. So act like that, because you can. I'm giving you permission. Act like a jerk if you need to be that jerk, because they need to know that this is more important than what they're doing.
And how do you think we can help, I know it's in the early stages, is there anything you think we can do to help you initially, or is it something down the line you'll be able to,
One thing I've learned for doing a charity is always think outside the box. Like, the community aspect, I don't like to think I just do veteran stuff, I don't. I do a lot with the community as well, and special needs, or, special needs and stuff like that. So, one thing I did before I retired is I told towards police chief, I said, look, people don't know who the special need kids are in your town. They don't know. And the police don't know how to really, everyone can tell me that you need better training. Everyone needs better training on a lot of subjects. But when you tell the police they need better training with people in general, or relationships with the community, special needs, and then they watch a 2-hour video, what is that? You think they're gonna watch that? Are you gonna watch that? No one's gonna watch that. And then they're gonna sign off and say, I got trained. That's wonderful. So I said, look, how do you do it? You do it better than that. You bring people in from the community and speak to the police officers, tell them their problems. Union is very unique in a sense where it's a very diverse town. Growing up in Union, you had people from all different communities, all over the country, all over the world, living in one town. So there wasn't just really, I'm not saying there isn't racism, it's not, there is, but it's really a unique feeling when you have friends from all different cultures. And when you go to a place where, like Montana, you're like, oh my God, really, this is totally different than what I grew up in, because you're not used to that. You're a little naive. As a police officer, you're naive. When someone tells me the police beat up people because of skin color, I'm like, well, what do you mean? I mean, you're like, what do you, I'm like, are you sure? I'm not saying that, they're that naive, but you really feel like it can't happen because you grew up in Union. Because there's no way that people would allow that to happen, right? And when and that's why people get mad when, I defend it so much, because I'm like, well, we don't do that. We're not allowed to, right? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you have to understand there are different communities, there's different things that happen, but you have to understand there's people, you have to get back to what I said before, that common ground, and really, really say, look, I want to listen to what you have to say, but we have to save our kids and our families and make this a better, who would be against this is crazy. And that's how you have to act. I don't know about bouncing all over the place, but you have to act like I said before, this is the most important thing in the world, and no one's gonna tell you can't do this, And you are going to take whatever you have to do to make this work. And no is not an acceptable answer when it comes to saving lives. So if someone tells you they're gonna do something and they don't do it, call them out on it, because like I said, you could be sitting home watching TV right now and not doing this. You chose to come out here, and this is a big step that everyone made, and I feel that you could do a lot of great things, especially in this town. This is a wonderful town. Yeah, we have problems in this town, I'm sure, but they're not the end of the world. That doesn't mean that they can't happen. Doesn't mean that bad things can't happen in any town, because they do happen rather quickly. So one thing can be done, and the whole town can have a major problem. So you wanna be proactive and do something about it. Like I was saying before, like, we have our officers go to the Islamic Center. We had our officers meet the kids that are special needs in town. Introductions. These are ideas of where you could do
Can I
that.
tell them about the ID programs? I don't know if everybody's familiar with it. One thing that we've actually borrowed from Union, because of Michael, is an ID program that the township has for special needs. Anybody who has special needs in the community, they can register for free and get an ID, so if they ever have an incident with police or, communications with the police, that the police already know that this person might have special needs, maybe they're autistic, maybe they're schizophrenic, bipolar, whatever it might be, like any myriad of categories, and so that the police and fire and everybody know how to deal with that interaction.
How do people know that that exists?
That's a good question, because I don't think a lot of people know. We briefly advertised it last year when we kicked it off, and I don't know,
I
I'm gonna
remember
speak.
hearing that at once.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how many people know, and that's something I think we need to start advertising for people.
I would be bored of it.
Yeah,
we
Board of
only
Ed.
run
What about
schools.
the township committee stuff? All the stuff that goes out to the township website or whatever?
Well, that's what, yeah, there is a link on the township website, but
The
that's.
school would be your number one
Yeah.
The
resource.
school would be probably the best resource, and I think that's something that is already set in place that we just need to get out to people, and I think that's important information that will benefit a lot of people. And that's something that, thanks to Michael, we started here, so I appreciate his guidance on that. And I don't know if you have a little bit of time to take some questions from people?
Sure. Just so you know, on that program real quick, what happens is there's a special needs, let's say autistic kid, it'll have the diagnose and lots of factors like triggers for that kid. So the officer will see on the screen as he's going there, Charlie Smith has, doesn't like to be touched, et cetera, so when, impairment. So it's not a foolproof plan. There's gonna be stickers on the door, so they know. And then when you find a picture, there's gonna be a database of all the pictures of the kid. So the goal is to get Union County, we're still working on that, but it's a little hard, like I said before. But we're looking to get a database where a kid can go to another town, there's gonna be a photo of them throughout the entire county. Someone asked, well, if I don't, HIPAA laws, they asked about HIPAA laws, I said, that's wonderful. I go, then don't do it. It's shame on you, sorry. You gotta be mean, you have to be mean to get people to do the right thing, I have no problem telling somebody, you're out of your mind. Shame on you, because you're
Well, that will only apply to medical records. If someone's volunteering something, where's that?
But people try to get involved and do the red tape, that's what I'm saying, like, they really get involved. They really, mean well, everybody wants to be an attorney, and they wanna tell you how to run your programs. If I listened to everybody doing this program, I'd never have a charity, never in the world. Never, I told you before, I call everybody, I could care less, I'll go to your house. If you don't do what I'm telling, I'll come to your house. Call the police, I don't know, do what you gotta do.
So, 3 parts. Number 1, what is the name of your charity?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm all over the map today, I had a
That's
rough
okay.
week. I like speaking, I told you.
Name, do you have materials that we could
Yeah,
publicize?
so-
And third is, if we do have somebody, once we understand what the services are, that we can refer to you, what's the best way to do that?
Okay, so one, I will give people my phone number and card, you can call me anytime. I do anything I can to help people, and I'm sure people I help, they'll tell you in this room that I do that, I don't just say it. The organization is called New Jersey Veterans Network, and we have a racing team called Operation Rebound Racing Team. And what we do is we really focus on helping veterans and their families live a better life. We help first responders as well, and like I said, and then civilians, but we really focus on taking people who have been really hurt and giving them the empowerment and teaching them to come back to society, and then they become mentors. We do events, believe it or not, I've done the Ironman Triathlon. So what we do is we really get people from doing, nothing against 5Ks, you know, I tell people they're nice, but we take someone who's disabled, and we just did a 42-mile hike with rucksacks at the VFW convention.
I'm not disabled and I couldn't do
Yeah,
that.
so, but that's the point, is that we did a bike ride to DC from New Jersey in one night. We don't do it in 3 days. I always laugh at the other group, I go, that's nice that you guys took it 3 days to get here, we did it in one night. And one of our girls did the entire thing, by the way. She's not a human being though. But, she's a cyborg, we call her that. But we show the world, like, wow, this organization is what, like, this is how we get people to join up. Because we want people to see that we are the best when it comes to what we do. We love our people, we're not afraid to tell people we love our people. We show them the compassion, and we're there. We're not looking at our watches or clock. We want to be there, we're volunteers. Never, one advice I can give you is when you run a group, never turn down a volunteer. Unless they're trying to hurt your organization, obviously. But people that want to be there, that want to make a difference, utilize them. Just because everybody in this room isn't a veteran doesn't mean that I would love to have you on board and helping out. Of course, you know, that's just something that you're gonna, is anyone in every, I'm not saying like, just make stuff like I've done it, but has anyone here ever saved a life? Has anyone here ever called someone and been there for someone and knowing that you made a difference in that person's life? I mean, it's an empowering feeling to yourself, you know? It becomes addicting sometimes. Like you can't stop because you know that what you're doing is so good. You gotta keep on doing it. You know, I lost control a few times because it's like, wow, we're going here, we're going there. You know, you have to sit back and realize, you know. But it's so important that you just want to be there every moment of the time that you want to give for this. You know, so I love every day. I wake up every day. I don't get paid for what I do, but I'm telling you, I get to do the coolest stuff in the world. I get to travel, I get to talk. I'm here speaking today. I was the high school mascot, and I graduated last year. Look at me, I'm here now speaking in front of you guys. But it's a great way, you know, to know that you're doing something so amazing, and I'm really proud, and thank you for having me here tonight just to do this. And I will do whatever I can to help your groups, you know, really get through. But relentless follow-up is important, and common ground. Think about both sides, don't just get one side. We all do it. We all do get caught sometimes in our beliefs and say, well, you know, you can't do that. You have to really be open, you know, because there are people that are hurting out there. They don't know how to act appropriately. They don't have the answers. And you can't be just one side. You have to learn to take what they have to say and listen to everything they say and say, okay, I'm here to help you, you know, and let's get back onto what needs to help you, not the problems that we have with, you know, to society itself. We want to help you and your family, you know, and when you show someone you love them and care for them, you're winning them over. You really are, and it's such power that you have over this person, and you showing them that you're not taking advantage of them, it just gets even bigger and bigger for everyone.
Does anybody else have a question?
Well, this is for you. What's the name of that program where you register as a special needs kid and you can get
I don't know if there's a
I
specific
think you
name,
guys
it's
called
just a
it a
special.
dedicated, didn't you?
Is it?
a dental kid?
I think so.
Okay. I'll look it up, I'll reach out to Chief Cook and try to get that, but I would like to, I think we should start definitely making sure people are aware of it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been in existence for almost a year now. I think it'll almost be a year in like November.
I would go to your school board and have them
Was there
put
a flyer?
flyers out and send it to all the students.
We would need to get some sort of a flyer and have
Yeah.
this.
Exactly.
Sign off on it so we could go home in backpacks and odds are when it comes to that, just because I know from Girl Scouts, we would have to provide each school with the amount of copies we want them to send out.
Yeah,
I don't think.
well, maybe they can do it listserv, just 2 or 3 emails, too.
One more thing I would do as well, we brought a couple of guest speakers to the football team. I'm friends with the coaches, nothing against any other sport. But we have speakers that come in that have really great stories. One of our guys is a disabled athlete who's actually on the Paralympic team. So we have these people come in and share their stories, which is appropriate for the stigma-free, especially because they are amputees. We have people that are gay, we have people that are just totally out of their minds, but we have all different types of people who really know how
I
to
don't know
share
if that's
their
an
story.
actual diagnosis.
No, it is. I'm a doctor.
I'm not a
sometimes.
doctor.
No, but there's people that really are just very unique, and when you have them speak, people really, if you have the right speaker come, people really come together and they're just excited, you know.
We had someone from NAMI.
And she was fantastic, she was really good.
And you never try to lose those, but you don't have to have them only speak once. The idea is to have that speaker
You're only
continue.
speaking once, by the way.
I know, I would have but I would have that speaker come periodically throughout the years, because they want that person to become part of your community. You know, you wanna make your community better, you wanna have these people be a part of it. And I think that's where we kind of lose touch sometimes too.
Does
It's
anyone
like-
else,
Okay.
does anybody else have questions?
Yeah, good comment. I had that experience when I was teaching of having a suicidal student, and I left the class and dealt with her, and the only thing I got out of it was being reprimanded for leaving class unattended. And that was a long time ago, and things have changed. And when I was on the township committee, I worked with the fire department and the police department in attempting to get some kind of a group together to reach out to seniors at risk. It got nowhere for various reasons, but I mention those things because things have changed in just a couple of years. It's the 3 years I've been off the township committee, things have changed. I know people are more aware, we've had incidents. I know when I was on the township committee, there were several suicides in town, nobody ever knew about it. People that lived alone when they were found, the police took care of it. And I always was concerned about what kind of care the first responders got. And
I'd ask them too.
I was not happy with the answers I got, because it was kind of like, oh, we counseled each other. I didn't think that was sufficient, so I think it goes to.
You know what, it's getting better. A police officer or a soldier saying that they need help years ago, suck it up. What are you doing? Are you out of your mind, you know? And that doesn't fly anymore. It's getting a lot better where an officer, you're kind of pushing it on them. When we have, I'm not just saying this stuff, I've been in shootings before, and I'm telling you, they're horrible. There's nothing good about it. And when an officer is and that's a crisis, a moment, instantly, that just totally changes that person's life. I've seen people quit. I've seen people cry. Like, I've seen nothing positive out of a shooting. And they always tell you that a good friend is sometimes better than a psychiatrist, to a point. But when someone needs help, that good friend needs to get them into that help that they need. And it doesn't make you weak. It makes you weak for not going. I always thought suicide was a cowardly act when growing up. I thought it was just a cowardly act. I was one of those people that thought that. You know, shame on me. I learned a lot. I understand it now. I didn't understand it back then, and I was like, you know, why is this person doing that? You know, and now I do understand.
Well, I think it's changed a lot in town since my experience, because we've had the bullying and Mallory and the looping and whatever, just literally in the past 3 years or so. And then we've got a whole group of people here who didn't react back then and didn't know about it, that are starting
Well, that's
to
also
get
social
involved. So I
media
think
too.
it's- Yeah.
But the thing is too, like, and let's get back to what you said, like the situation in this town. There was only one-sided arguments on this whole situation. You know, there was only one-sided. People said one thing, people said the other. You know, there was no, this is about a kid we're talking about. Then you're fighting with each other as adults. It's pretty sad. It's piss poor. You know, but this is what society has created. Facebook could be one of the biggest, best tools ever. It could also be the biggest worst enemy you ever had.
Gift and a curse.
You know, but I mean, I use Facebook for promotion and also making fun of myself.
He's very good.
But I've learned a way of doing that and separating my personal Facebook, I think, somewhat. But I mean, I love entertaining people, I love making people happy, I really do. And sometimes I might offend somebody, but I'll always stand up and say, hey, listen, you know, this was not my intent, I'm sorry, et cetera, and get over it. It's not like I try to hurt you, and you know better, you know. Because the stuff that I write is usually 3rd grade or maybe 4th grade level. So, but you want to use the social media for a positive outlet, and sometimes it doesn't go that way. But like I said earlier, we don't need to respond to everybody's answer. So when someone has a township committee or a township page, the administrator's got to use common sense. You know, they got to use common sense, because this stuff gets out of hand. When someone writes something, you know, about looping, or hey, your child didn't do anything wrong, you know, or your child's the worst kid that's ever been in school, why are we even having this? And you need to move out of your town, someone needs to step up, you know. You're not obligated to write everything back and have a fight, because like I can tell you that I love Donald Trump and everyone in this room will probably hate me, I'm sure. But you know, people do love Trump. I don't know how, but they do, you know, people, so you gotta sit there and say, all right, they don't agree with me, but they might love Trump, but they also might love to help people that are suicidal too. So, you know what I mean? You have to take that with a grain of salt. You know, and our common goal is, like I said before, is to save lives. I know there's people that don't support each other politically. But I will say this about politics, one thing I learned. I went to the State House, like I told you, And one of the people on our team goes, go look at that cafeteria. And I go, what lesson are you teaching me? He goes, what do you see? I'm like, I don't know, tell me what am I learning here today? He goes, those are Republicans and Democrats eating together. Those two had a smear campaign against each other, and now they own businesses together, and they're sitting there breaking bread, and your friends are fighting over two politicians that wouldn't care less about you. So think about that when you go home. I'm like, you know what, you really did teach me something, because now I just said it again. But you have to realize this is where we become. So if you love each other, and if you love to help people, that comes through, that's your goal. You want to save lives, and you really don't want to take no for an answer. If you know what you're doing and your heart is right, go with it. And you have people on your board here, your township committee helping you. I mean, that's a godsend, because a lot of towns don't want to be, they want to be a part, but they don't know how much they want to be a part of. You know what I
We
mean?
got all that.
And that's what I'm trying to say. This
For better or
is a
worse.
great subject, but I guarantee you, in other towns, the township would be like, you do this, you let me know how it goes, and if it's okay, I'll get in there.
Well,
And
our
that's
goal-
wrong.
happens here.
No,
Well,
but
the
you
whole-
have people that represent your town here, and that's
The
a
hope
pretty
is,
solid
Union
start.
County is working on becoming a stigma-free county at some point, hopefully in the next year or so. So hopefully, over the next year, we could be kind of like a model for them to show people just like, hopefully the right way to do it. That's why we wanted to have you here tonight, and I appreciate you coming. I know you have a lot of stuff going on, so I really do appreciate it.
No,
And I don't know if anybody else has any other questions, I know we wanna talk about.
Sorry I came late. I'm Chris Capides. I'm on the Township Committee with Erica. And I know Michael has mentioned Union a lot, and that's because Erica and I are from Union, and we actually graduated together, and we both got
And
to
we're
know.
much younger than Michael.
Yes, absolutely. I don't want
About
to
20
say
years
that.
done.
I don't want to say that, Michael, but, so we've known Michael for a long time, and basically, what you see was what you get. He is so genuine and so giving and so caring and so passionate about what he does. And he's the perfect person to do this type of thing. And we give him credit for doing this because, this is all volunteer. And it's obviously his passion and his excitement about doing this is contagious. And I think that's part of your success. The contacts that you've made in Union County and throughout the state, speaks to you and your success in all about helping people. I'm going to embarrass him a little bit. I don't know if you mentioned this, but I don't know if any of you heard of the Santa and Blue program that happens around Christmas time with a toy drive. You're also looking at the man who coordinates that throughout the state of New Jersey. And again, from his good works and his good contagious attitude, he's gotten a lot of publicity for that. He's been interviewed by News 12 and news outlets, all to spread the word. Why? Because they see in him what we do, the excitement, the passion, the willingness, and the genuineness to really help people. And we're glad that he's here, and we're glad that you're speaking to us, and keep doing what you're doing.
No, I appreciate it. Thank
So once you get whatever you're doing off and running, whatever you need from us, I'm sure a lot of people here would be
We're
interested.
looking to do, I found a lot of love in this town. So what we were doing is, we did the banners for the hometown heroes. We started in this town. So that's big, and that's gonna go statewide. This is like the test pilot for that. We are looking to build a war memorial, Union County War Memorial. And we're gonna build it in this town. We're gonna really look to do something unique. We're gonna make dog tags of each soldier who perished throughout the entire county. We're making an American flag about 8 by 12, and we're gonna put soldiers inside the flag and really have a nice, with their names also embedded into the flag. So we're looking to do something really big and really cool, and have the kids from the entire county work on this project. We want it to be done by the people in this town, in this county. September 30th, we're hosting the Patriots Day event here. We're gonna be giving out shadow boxes or awards to 21 veterans from each town in the county. We're giving out a new car to a veteran. We're going to be doing the hometown heroes banners again. I think 10 or 12, I don't remember the number, but
It's
somewhere
around
around
there.
there. And we are going to look to launch our PTSD group. We're looking to really get that self-help group going. And one thing that we do need is help. We're doing an event on September 15th. We're going to be going on a barbecue. It's in Watchung Reservation. It's hosted by the county. And we're picking patients and veterans from Lions Hospital and also Veterans Haven North and maybe another Veterans Hospital. where they come and we take care of them for the day and have a barbecue for them. So we really are working on these kind of projects, and I would love to have a diverse group there, because that's what we need in everything that we do. When you have a diversity, people learn from one each other and they become better associated with each other's different backgrounds and learn from one another. If you're just gonna continue living in the straight, you're not gonna learn anything in life. You know, you have to learn from everybody, and I'd love to have this group of people involved in any way that you can help out. You don't have to come to every event, just come to one event. And what you guys are doing, see what we do, steal.
Yeah.
Why can't you do a stigma-free hike? I'm not saying do a bike ride to DC, because you do that, that's my idea. But take a mobile outreach, that's what I should have said that earlier. Mobile, I can talk all day, by the way. Mobile outreach is what we do.
Because I know you gotta go.
Mobile outreach is what we do. That's the success. We are a mobile outreach program. Take that secret. Take advantage of what we do and do it as well. People don't want to sit on a therapy-like atmosphere. Take them outside. Do something different with them, and you'll get better results. But show them you love them and you care for them. That's really the
Well, I
wisdom.
think, and I'm just speaking off the top of my head, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, that I think our goal is to try to come up with some ideas in the next year that we can do to just get people talking, get people to understand in the community that there are people here for you. You don't have to be ashamed or embarrassed if you have an addiction, if you have a mental health issue, and come up with some, we don't have any type of budget right now.
And you don't need money.
Which, yeah, so we wanna start coming up just to get our faces out there and just get people. I mean, I've had some people reach out to me privately that are like, thank you for just even having the conversation, but we wanna make sure that we stay relevant and help people.
Steal from what we do. I don't have tons of money. I learned how to get resources out of towns and how to do it for free. Do the same philosophy. It doesn't cost money to have a meeting here and what, there's a games here or something like that, or a movie night. You know what I mean? Go to the high school. Kids have to do community service. We want the right kids. You want the right kids, like the right cop in the schools. You want the right kids. ROTC kids, good kids who mentor, you know what? When a kid gets picked on or traumatized, when the high school football, I'm not trying to be sexist, this is the way life is. When the high school quarterback or someone who's the big shot in that school takes that special need kids and hugs them and prances around him around the whole school, that kid's life has just been changed in a positive. And that's the kind of stuff we need to do.
Well, the biggest event we did so far, we had our kickoff event last year, is we had a youth art contest. It was titled My Feelings Matter, and we had about, 150 people show up here? And it was through the schools, and the schools supported it, and it was amazing, and we plan on making that an annual event. So that was our first big thing.
And I would do more than just one event. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Have these mentors take these kids. We're looking to build a special, like I said, I didn't talk about it. We're looking to do a special needs, we're looking to do a veteran center, we're a special needs center. We're just looking for the right property to do it.
Yeah,
We've
we're
been-
working on that.
We've been
We're trying to
looking,
do that
we've been
here.
looking all over. I'm not just saying you guys,
Yeah.
you offer the building as well, so we are looking for a place to do something like that. So that's a start. I think that you need to be mobile, take these kids, get the kids that are popular in the school, that are well-liked, to help our students, but also do the same thing with the adults. Do events with people, throw it in their face. It doesn't cost money to do a lot of these things, to go and do things within your community. And you have your elected officials here, use and abuse them, make them do what you wanna do.
I have so much
You
free
know?
time.
I mean, I would. I did, to the point where they won't talk to me. But you wanna really use the resources you have, and you'll be shocked that people can stand, you have a huge temple in town that has a lot of space. You have different places where people can go to think out of the box on what you wanna do, you know?
Thank you for coming out tonight. I know you got a lot going on, and we appreciate you. And
I'll give you,
give out your card to anybody if